Good morning, students. So today I shall start discussing about the combo box. Now this is the structure of a combo box. Okay, this is very much similar to the list box and holds a list of items. The only difference is that it displays only one item at a time. So this particular combo box, even though it holds a list of items, it displays only one item, okay, which is represented as item 1. But if you click on this drop down icon, the rest of the items shall also be displayed to you in the form of a menu. And then you can select the desired item from that menu. And the selected item shall be displayed in front of you like this. Since this combo box consists of a drop down mark like this, so it is also known as the drop down list control. Now we can create a combo box control or a drop down list control by using a special class known as the XIChap6part2 class. And that is what is said in the first point. Using the XIChap6part2 class, we can create a drop down list or a combo box list. And see the second point, it says a drop down list control or a combo box control is very similar to the list box control and holds a list of items. Only difference is that it displays only one at a time. So this figure clearly says that only one item is visible at a time and the rest of the items are hidden. Now I shall show you a combo box practically. So for that, let me first run this application. Now see, this is a combo box control. At present, only one item is getting displayed, okay? That is item 1. Now, if I click on this drop down mark, a menu shall get displayed like this, okay? Which shall show you the list of items starting from item 1, item 2 till item 4. Let's say from this menu I wish to select item 3, okay? So now I shall click on item 3. As a result, item 1 has been replaced by item 3 and the combo box now displays item 3. Okay, now let's discuss about the different methods of the XIChap6part2 class. The first method is add. This method adds items to the combo box. Now say for example you wish to add the item apple into the combo box. So for that you have to use an instance name such as XIChapSpart1 of the XIChapSpart2 class and then call the method add using the dot operator. After that you have to put the text apple within inverted quote. Okay, now this shall act as a parameter or as an argument for the method called add, and this statement shall put the text or the item apple into the combo box control. The next method of the XIChapSpart2 class is getSelectedItem. This method returns the selected item of the combo box and the return type of this method is object. So we have to use an instance name of the XIChapSpart2 class, okay, which is XIChapSpart1 here, okay, and then we have to call the getSelectedItem method using the dot operator. So whatever item gets displayed in the combo box, that item shall be selected by this method and it will be returned to the object O. Now say for example if I choose the item 2 from the combo box control, then this instance name j_box1, when it calls this method get selected item, it will retrieve the displayed item, okay, which is item 2 in this case, from this combo box control. And after that, item 2 shall be returned by this method and stored in this object O. As a result, this object O shall now take the item 2. Now in case you choose a different item, say item 4, okay, then this particular method that is get selected item shall retrieve the item called item 4 from this combo box control and then store it in the object variable called O. So in this case, now the object variable O shall hold the item 4. Now let's move to the next method called remove. This method removes an item from a specified location. It takes one parameter of type int. So this is done using the instance name, which is j_box1, and calling the remove method using the dot operator, okay, and inside the remove method I have to put an argument or the parameter, and that parameter should be the location of the item. Okay, since the location specified is 3, so now it is going to remove the item at the location 3 of the combo box. Now let's come to the next method, which is get selected index. This method returns the index number of the item selected in the combo box. So for that, we have to use the instance name, which is j_box1 of the j_box class, and then call the get selected index method using the dot operator. Okay, now say I wish to choose the item 3 from this combo box. Now this method, which is get selected index, shall return the index number for the selected item. Now one thing you have to note, that the index number for a combo box always starts from 0. Okay, that means the index number for item 1 will be 0, okay, because this is the first item. The index number for the item 2 will be 1, the index number for the item 3 will be 2, and the index number for the item 4 will be 3. Okay, so even though the items are numbered 1 to 4, the index number will always start from 0. So for the first item, which is item 1, the index number will be 0, and hence for the last item, which is item 4, the index number will be 3. Now that I have selected this particular item, that is item 3, out of this combo box, that's why the selected index, okay, for this particular item, which is item 3, will be 2. Okay, since the index number starts from 0, okay, so item 1 will have the index 0, item 2 will have the index 1, and item 3 will have the index 2. And as I have selected item number 3, so the index value for this item will be 2. As a result, this method, which is get selected index, okay, shall return the index value 2 and store it in this variable called index. Since the value returned by this method is 2, which is numeric in nature, that is why the variable index has to be declared as int in the first line. Okay, now I will be showing you a Java program to change the color of the text entered in the text area control using the combo box. Now this shall be the design interface. Now whatever text that we put inside this text area control, the color of that text shall be set to the color selected from this combo box. Say for example, I type the text good morning inside this text area control. And now if I choose the color selected from this combo box to be blue, then the color of the text good morning shall be set to blue. And if I choose a different color out of this combo box, then the color of this text good morning shall be set to that particular color which is selected out of the combo box. Now let me first create a project in Java and then design this interface. So for that, let me first bring the mouse cursor over here. This is the menu section, and then I have to choose File and then click on New Project. This brings me to a new window, okay, where I have to choose Java under the Categories section and Java Application under the Project section. And then I have to come below and hit this Next button. This brings me to another window, okay, where I have to specify the project name. By default, the project name is Java Application 45. Okay, now let me rename this project to combo box list, and then I shall come over here. Now I will untick this checkbox because I don't want to create a main class for my project. And after this, our project name, which is combo box list, shall be created without a main class. Now I shall come over here and click on this finish button. This shall create the project combo box list. So here is the project combo box list. Now I shall right click on here, okay, and then choose new and then click on JFrame form. Okay, this brings me to another window where I have to specify the class name. By default, it's new JFrame. Now you remember I have once unticked that main class for my project because I don't want to create a main class for my project. So instead of creating the main class, I will create my own class. Okay, let me specify the name of the class to combo box class. Okay, and now our project combo box list will have a class, okay, and that will be combo box class. Now after specifying the class name for my project, I shall come over here and click on this finish button. Now this shall create our JFrame form. By default, the size of this JFrame form is a bit small. Okay, now I can drag its ends to increase the size of this JFrame form. So the very first thing that I need to drag and drop into the form is the combo box control and the text area control. So I shall now search for the combo box control inside this palette window. Okay, so here it is. This is the combo box control, and then now I shall find the text area control in this palette window. Okay, so here it is. This is the text area control. Let me drag it, and I have increased the size of this text area control. Now the next thing that I will need is the label, okay, with the text color. So for that, let me drag this label control from this palette window over here onto this form. By default, the text of this label is JLabel1. Okay, so let me change that text in this properties window to color. So now you can see the change. The text of the label has changed from JLabel1 into color. Now let me increase the font size of this label text and let me make it bold. Since this label represents color, so this combo box control should hold the color items. Now if we click on this combo box control, by default the objects are item 1, item 2, item 3 till item 5. Okay, now I am going to change these objects, okay, and put the color items such as red, green, blue and yellow. Now let me click on this OK button. Now see, the default items has been replaced by these color items. Okay, these color items are red, green, blue and yellow, and that I have done in the model property. So when you select the combo box control, come over to the properties window and choose the model property. Okay, in case you wish to replace the default items, you can do so, okay, by coming over here, the model property, and make the necessary changes. Now whatever color that we choose out of this combo box, the text displayed in this text area control will be set to that desired color, okay, which will be chosen from this combo box. Now since the color chosen from this combo box is red, okay, so whatever text that we put it inside this text area control, the color of that text will become red. And for that to happen, I have to right click on the J combo box control and select event action, then action performed option. This will generate the event handler method for the J combo box. So now let me right click on this J combo box control, okay, and then choose events from this menu, and again I have to choose action and then this action perform method. So here it is. This brings me to the J combo box 1 action performed method. This method has a body as represented by the opening curly parenthesis and the closing curly parenthesis, and inside the body I have to put the set of Java statements, okay, here just after the comment line as represented by this double slash, which is to do add your handling code here. That means I have to type the following code, okay, inside the body of the event handler method, which is J combo box 1 action performed, okay. That code is this, okay. So this page shows only half the code, okay. The remaining part of the code is in the next page, okay. So this is the remaining part of the code. Let me highlight it. Now let me copy this code and paste it over here just below this comment line. And then let me copy the remaining part of the code, okay, and paste it over here. Now let me set the alignment properly. Now look at this code, okay. It starts with declaring a variable called color whose data type is string, so it can hold string values for the variable color such as red, blue, green, yellow, etc. Now the next statement, okay, uses the instance name of the combo box control, which is J combo box 1, and then it calls the get selected item method using this dot operator. Now since the selected item from this combo box control is red, So this particular method, that is get selected item, okay, shall return the value red and store it in the variable called color. Now note one thing, that the items stored inside the combo box shall be of the data type object. So these items red, green, blue and yellow inside the combo box will have the data type object. But we cannot store the values with object as the data type into a variable of string data type, okay, since in this case the variable color has the data type string, so it cannot accept values with object data type. The instance of the XIChapbox control, which is XIChapbox1, when it calls the get selected item method, it returns the element or the item red from the combo box. This is because the item red has been selected from this combo box control, and that's why it's getting displayed here. But the item red from this combo box control, okay, when it gets returned by this method get selected item, okay, it cannot be stored in this variable called color, because the data type of the item called red is object and the data type of this variable called color is string. So the object data type of this item has to be converted into the string data type before it can be actually stored into this variable called color, whose data type is string. Okay, so for that reason I have to call the value of method using the string class like this. Okay, so use this string class, okay, and using the dot operator call the value of method. Okay, this shall convert the value, okay, which shall be returned by the get selected item from object data type into the string data type. Okay, and once the value which gets returned from this method gets converted into the string data type, it can be easily stored in this variable called color. Now in this case, as the selected item is red, okay, so the item red with object as the data type shall be first converted into the string data type using the value of method of the string class, and then it shall be stored into this variable called color. As a result, this color variable now holds the value red. Okay, now look at the next statement. Now switch color becomes switch red. Now out of all these cases, the matching case will be case red, okay, because the color selected was red. And when this matching case gets activated, okay, which is case red, then the statement beneath this case clause shall be executed. Okay, so now these two statements shall be executed. The first statement says that whatever text is inside the text area control, okay, the foreground color of that text shall be set to red, and this is made possible by using the instance name, which is JTextArea1 for the text area control, and calling the set foreground method using the dot operator, okay, and then putting the argument or the parameter as color dot red. So this shall set the foreground color of the text inside the text area control to red. Now after that I shall end this statement with a semicolon. The next statement says break followed by a semicolon. Now why this break statement is important? We provide this break statement, okay, to skip executing the rest of the case statements, okay, that is beneath the break statement. Okay, so we have to skip each of these case statements. Okay, now these statements shall be skipped. This is because the matching case was case red in our case, as the chosen color was red. So just to make sure that only the statements inside this particular case clause gets executed, so at the end I have to put the break statement to skip executing the remaining case statements. So once case red gets activated and the statement inside it also gets executed, then the break statement will skip executing the remaining case statements, okay, and then it shall come over here, it will end the switch case construct, okay, and then it shall end this j_box1 action performed method. So as a result from these two statements, okay, the foreground color of the text in the text area control will be set to red. Now look over here, see this text area control, text, okay, this text area control shall hold the text good morning. Since the color chosen from the combo box control is blue, that is why the foreground color of this text is also blue. Now if I choose the selected color from this combo box control to be red, then the text inside this text area control, okay, shall also become red, okay, and that you can clearly see here, the foreground color of this text called good morning has become red. And that is what this code is all about. Now let's say I wish to choose the color from the combo box control to be green, okay. In that case, the text inside this text area control, which is good morning, shall be set to the foreground color green, okay. So you can see clearly here. And now coming over here, since the color chosen is green, so this get selected item method, okay, of the instance j_box1 shall return the value green, okay, and that value green, since its default data type is object, that will be converted to the string data type using the value of method of the string class, and then it shall be stored in this string variable called color, okay. Now this string variable color will hold the value green. Then in the next statement, switch color now becomes switch green, and the matching case out of all this is case green, okay. So now instead of case red, now case green shall get activated, okay, and the statement beneath this case green clause shall set the foreground color of the text inside the text area control to green, okay, and as soon as it does that, it ends with a break statement, okay. So the remaining case statements, okay, beneath this break statement shall not get executed, okay. So these case statements shall be skipped, and the control will then move to the next line, that is here it will end the switch case construct, and then it will come over here in this method, and the result that you can see is the text appearing green once you have chosen the color green out of this combo box. So I hope this is clear, and with this I end my presentation here.